Shiny version by Barid, or Final. Read by My Lost and Found. Summary. Tomura is pretty sure this little kid is a shiny pre-evolved sensei. Hisashi is pretty sure he fucked up. He's not supposed to leave the bar. Tomura knows that, but he's bored and it's sunny and the park is nearby. Sensei and Kurogiri would be distracted with the doctor for a few more hours, which means no one will take him to go outside. And he's so bored. He beat his last game and sometimes it's nice to get outside. So he slips away, and there's lots of other kids playing. He knows he can't play with any of them. According to Sensei, it's too dangerous with his quirk and how bad his control is. His control is bad, which means he's bad. And according to Sensei, that makes it too dangerous for him to play with others. But if he's just out... Tomura stumbles back and looks down at the little kid who just ran into him. He's got fluffy green hair and is rubbing at his face like he's crying. His shirt looks weirdly burnt and his knees are scraped up. The kid looks up at him, and it's like looking at a tiny version of Sensei. A tiny green version of Sensei, but still, a tiny Sensei. "Are you both okay?" a woman asks, hurrying over, and her hair is the same shade of green as the little Sensei. "He looks like my Sensei," Tomura points out, pointing at the little boy. "But, like, an unevolved shiny?" "What?" The woman blinks at him, grabbing at her son's hand. "He looks like my Sensei," Tomura repeats, and the woman gets a thoughtful look. "But an unevolved shiny version, like Pokemon." And it's just a feeling that makes Inko do this. An impulse she's tempted to ignore, but still. She's curious. Besides, it's not like the little boy's Sensei is her husband. She pulls a phone out of her purse. Her son's silent next to her, and looking at him with big green eyes. She seems to flick through her phone for something, and then stops, turning her phone to face him. He blinks. "Why do you have a picture of Sensei?" "Where is your Sensei?" she asks, instead of replying to his question. "At the bar with Kurogiri and the doctor," he says, almost immediately realizing he shouldn't have said that. "Can you take me there?" She scoops her son up and drops him onto her hip. "My name's Inko, and this is my son Izuku," she adds, offering Tomura her hand, which he cautiously takes, making her to only touch with 3 fingers. "Okay," Tomura says slowly, and he leads her back to the bar. She seems nice, and she knows Sensei, so this should be okay. He hopes it's okay. Sensei's kinda scary when he's mad. Hisashi bites back a sigh when Kurogiri reports Tomura has wandered out of the bar. Again. He needs to have a long discussion with the warper about locking the doors better to keep the boy in. Can't have someone finding him and ruining his plans. He tilts his head as he hears the sound of Tomura's voice. He apparently came home without Kurogiri making him. Good. That'll lessen his punishment at least. It's the sound of a woman's voice that makes him freeze. Oh God, that's Inko. Please don't let that be Inko. And of course, it's Inko. She's carefully holding Tomura's hand, only 3 fingers in her hand. Izuku is on her hip, and the Izu tote is haphazardly over her shoulder. Her smile is sweet when directed at Tomura, but now she's glaring at him. "Hisashi, is there any apparent reason why you have an 8-year-old live at a bar? Or why I have no clue anything about him, including the fact that he calls you Sensei? You aren't a teacher or a doctor." His eyes flick around the room, trying to figure out what to say. How the hell hadn't he made a plan to deal with Inko finding out? The disappointed look on her face makes him wince. "Tomura, sweetheart," she says, looking at the 8-year-old. "How about you get your things? You're gonna come home with me and Izuku." "What about Sensei?" Tomura asks, tilting his head slightly so he can look up at Inko. "Let me deal with Sensei. You get your things, she says, with Tomura trotting off. Inko adjusts to Zuko and glares at him. I don't know what you're thinking, Hisashi, but let me make one thing clear. No matter what, you are sleeping on the couch for at least the next year. She holds up her hand as he tries to say something. No, I am not done. I know you're up to something. Now tell me what it is, or it's not the couch. It's divorce papers. Oh, God, no. What to say? Maybe the truth will help him. I'm a 200-year-old supervillain, and I took in Tomura to raise him to be a supervillain. Then he drops with a wheeze, vision going white. He should have expected the sudden crushing of his balls, because while small object attraction isn't a particularly strong quirk, it's fairly versatile. You are on the couch for the next decade, she hisses. Be extremely grateful I'm not writing up divorce papers. Is Papa in trouble? Izuku asks, giving them both wide-eyed stares as Tomura troops back in with 2 bags of things. It looks like a hodgepodge of clothes and his games. Papa is in a lot of trouble, Inko says, kissing him on the cheek. Come on, Tomura, we're going to head home. But I live here. Not anymore. Now you live with me, and Sensei will have to deal with that unless he wants me to divorce him. Okay. Oh, is Izuku shiny because he's your and Sensei's son? Yes, Inko says, using her quirk to pick up both Tomura's bags. He watches the trio walk out and hears the sound of Suabasa shuffle in. Kurogiri is much, much quieter when he moves, and he suspects the Warper is busy hiding from both him and Inko. Ah, my lord, I'm reminded now why you married Lady Inko. Tsubasa, shut up. He has to now figure out how to make up to his wife after this debacle. Okay, that one was a little short, but this was just so funny. I really wanted to do it. And, I may or may not have like an hour-long one coming out next week, so you got that to look forward to. A little shorter one now, longer one next week. But, yes. It's just Tomura being like, oh my god, shiny Pokemon to Izuku. And then Inko being like, excuse me, ho, you have a child and you're 200 years old and a supervillain? You're sleeping on the couch. She's not even afraid. She fucking pulls his balls. I forgot that that's what she pulls on, and it was hard not to just burst out laughing when I read that. But yes, she's amazing. She can pull organs because that's what made All for One fall for her. Her being absolutely fucking terrifying. I love it. It's amazing. I won't accept anything else. It's great. Anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Inko used divorce papers. It's super effective.